What's going on, my people? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And I'm going to be reviewing the last film in the Die Hard franchise, entitled A Good Day to Die Hard. And it wasn't really a good day to die hard with this film. The best of the series is easily the first Die Hard, which is one of the all-time greats of the action genre, in my humble opinion. And you're going to hear that throughout my reviews. I did the first 4 films, and Die Hard Classic, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, also really good films. While the 4th film was okay, but it was on the forgettable side. This movie honestly should have went straight to DVD. A Good Day to Die Hard, even when watching with an open mind, was a huge disappointment. And the film series, I think, went downhill after this film. I consider this film to be really bad. It's not quite as awful as After Earth or Scary Movie, anything like that, but if there was an award for most disappointing film back when this came out in 2013, Good Day to Die Hard would not only be a contender, but would also win the prize for worst film of the year. In my opinion, I did not enjoy this film at all. 2 or 3 things stop it from having no redeeming qualities at all. The best thing is easily the exciting car chase through Moscow. Russia was a really good choice of the setting for the film. I feel like Russia in this film was kind of a character in a weird way. It was cool to watch. The cinematography was beautiful. The locations are nice, and the special effects are mostly good in this film. I take it those are the only things that are very memorable. The film was also quite well scored, and I don't really speak about music much, but the music served the story, the plot, and the film very well. But very, very forgettable. The rest of A Good Day to Die Hard was an absolute mess. The photography is inconsistent. It's good and appropriately gritty in the scenes where there's any signs of the story, but it's in the action sequences where it takes on a rather chaotic and rushed nature in a way that it's not ideal for those suffering with epilepsy or sensitive eyes. You see it now with certain movies. You see the warning sign. Back then, they didn't really do that. John Moore's direction, the director of this movie, to me was very lazy, very pedestrian at best, with very little degrees of subtlety. A lot of the time, it lacks cohesion as well. Like Bruce Willis has never looked or sounded as tired as he does in this movie. I question, did he even want to do this movie? Or was this a cash grab? Was this just a check to him? A lot of the time, it lacks cohesion. He doesn't even look like a John McClane. I don't know if he was aging. He's aging at this time, but he could have still played the role. John McClane was meant to be this world-weary man who is still, action savvy, but it doesn't work in this film. I feel like Willis has very little to work with, apart from some tired-ass one-liners. They just did not work in this one. He's disadvantaged also by being almost sidelined as a sidekick in this film, rather than the commanding yet vulnerable lead hero that makes him so iconic in this franchise in the first place. It just wasn't John McClane-centric story. It was really a waste of Willis's presence. Courtney, to me, is annoying. Saddled with a character that doesn't come across as likable in the least bit, and the whole father-son dynamic was very forced between the two. It wasn't real. The villain is pretty much a non-entity in this film, wasn't really fully developed, with an underdeveloped motivation. And it's crazy because in this franchise, all the villains were superior, even in the fourth film. You know what I mean? Timothy Olympia wasn't at his best in that film, but I take him over the villain in this movie. I'm not even bother to name him. It'll be a waste of time. The story's confusing, even for someone who had no problem understanding films that often been criticized for the bullshit that this movie brings you, you know? It's emotionally hollow, especially it's supposed to be a father and son dynamic, and it falls flat. It's bad pacing. You have too many double crosses to keep up with in this movie. Like, I'm all in for a movie that has a plot twist or two, but this one, they don't even make sense. The first half is rushed, and the second half drags, and increasingly implausibility in this movie. Often too much of an excuse to string along action sequences together, seeing as the action is generally poorly done in this film. And that's a problem. This is the Die Hard franchise. And it's crazy how, you know, he makes his fifth appearance as this NYPD cop. And in the previous films, he makes Dirty Harry look like a fucking sidewalk character, you know what I mean? And he walks into this one with no gusto. You know, he really... But all in all, this movie was a mess. The only Die Hard film that actually is so. As the worst of the series, this one goes to the bottom. I give this movie a 3 out of 10. That's how bad the film was. Really disappointing sequel, and it should definitely end here. And I look forward to your Discord, man. Let me know what you thought about this movie. If you checked out the other movies, you should definitely check out this one just to make sure you close out. You try to close out in a positive way. And let's talk about it. Hit me up. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And until the next time, please subscribe.